governor in a state. It's an insult to even assume and claim that somebody is wrong somewhere, and I think sooner or later this one will be sorted out.
It was the House of Assembly that asked the deputy governor to act as acting governor. When his principal came back, two things are supposed to happen. First, he's supposed to see his principal and render account of his stewardship in the past 10 months. Then second, he was expecting the House of Assembly that transmitted a letter to him to act as acting governor, to transmit a letter to him saying, you are no longer acting governor. Please revert to your position as deputy governor.
When people refuse to shift grounds according to law, and subsequent press statements that were released were not just ridiculous but embarrassing the entire people of this state, that becomes a problem. Because one, you cannot interpret the Constitution. You cannot amend the Constitution through press releases. If there was anything that ought to have been done, perhaps at a subsequent date, after the man had assumed office and you think that you are not satisfied with one or two things, and you take further steps, not pursuant to Section 192.
The polarization has led to a dilemma over who controls the offices of the Secretary to the Government and Chief of Staff Government House Administration following the dissolution of the Cabinet. A visit to the State Secretariat by Channels Television indicates that Gavi Yarwe is holding forth as a secretary to the government and Ahmed Yusuf as chief of staff, while the duo of Gibbon Katabs as secretary to the state government.
I'm fully satisfied with his state of health and the progression. It continues, and I think sooner than later, Dambaba will be able to come more than what he's doing now in terms of discharging his functions and in terms of giving leadership to the people of Taraba State. Leaders and chief executives of in this country don't have to be in office 24 hours before they function. Sometimes we seek permission on phone. I will see your staff once again. I know how the things work.
As the drama continues to unfold, a delegation from the presidency, leadership of the People's Democratic Party, and the Taraba National Assembly legislators are being expected in Jalingo to discuss with the warring factions in resolving the lingering political crisis.
Away from politics now, less than 2 weeks after a 15-year-old boy successfully stowed away on an Arik wheel compartment from Benin to Lagos, another young man has been caught trying to do the same feat. Now, such operatives say that he made his way to the airport runway with the intent to illegally board an Abuja-bound Arik flight. The General Manager, Corporate Communications of FAN, Mr. Yakubu Dati, who confirmed the incident, said all airports across the country now have a joint security patrol comprising staff of FAN and the Nigeria Air Force since the last incident at the Benin airport. However, the suspect told journalists in an interview that he was a psychiatric patient and was tired of life. That's why he wanted to travel to Abuja. Well, still on the stowaway issue, the Director General of the Nigerian Aviation Authority has given the assurance that the security breach at the Benin airport will be handled. He insists that the presence of perimeter fences around the airport may not put an end to this kind of incident.
These are minimum standards. There are time limits for you to do certain things. What we mustn't forget is what I call, or I can say, criminal intent. This place has a perimeter fence. People can break into it. It can be compromised. And that happens. And we have there's a continuous situation where people try to breach security, and that has happened in Benin. Efforts are being made by FAN to ensure that they take appropriate action to ensure that breaches that have been made will be fixed and repaired.
While staying with aviation, passengers have expressed mixed views over the remodeling of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport that's reached its completion stage. While some applaud the change, others ask for better treatment, especially during departure processes. Our aviation correspondent Bukola Jo Oketumbe reports.
This is the new face of Nigeria's premier international gateway. Months after rehabilitation works rolled up, the terminal has been expanded a few meters forward and on the D and E wings. This is the upper deck of the new extension of the D wing of the international airport in Lagos. This part of the building is expected to house about 10 new immigration points to aid better passenger facilitation. It's not just the immigration capacity that has increased. The lower deck of the arrival hall now has 3 new conveyor belts to aid baggage collection. The extended area of the departure hall also wears a new look, as the airport authority believes travelers deserve a new experience.
Even before the commissioning, we are already opening it up to general use, and we are happy that Nigerians are beginning to see a difference to what is being done. You know that this facility was constructed about 40 years ago, and after 40 years, it's beaming at its seams. So this is to make up for the traffic growth and also the projections ahead.
As the airport awaits its formal opening, some passengers speak on their impression.
I was here in November and I was here in May when I was going to the UK, so I know this airport and I've been using it for the past 6-7 years. Whether peak or no peak, it's very good. Compared to before, you can't even stay in this hall.
I remember about 2-3 years ago, it was horrible. The airport was small, and I came back sometime in March this year, and there's been a lot of changes.
Not everyone is impressed by the change.
I can't see any transformation because we're all here standing. People want to sit down. People probably can't go back. There are no seats. They should just look at the airlines, harmonize everything, probably even give check-in services.
As the federal government continues its airport remodeling exercise across the country, travelers and aviation parties insist on top quality infrastructure and the best of services. Bukola Jo Oketumbe, Channels Television News.
When the news at 10 returns, analysts attribute decline in the Nigerian equities market to monetary tightening measures. That's on Business News. Do join us again.